Ultrakill isn't exactly the easiest game to comprehend. It's oftentimes hard to even articulate out into words what exactly is going on as you play. You, the viewer, clicked because you want to improve. I'll help you and do that in the most efficient means through this video. This video will be split into 3 parts. Part 1, gameplay mechanics. Part 2, experience. And Part 3, synthesis. So in order for us to clearly understand our terms, I will define them in the context of this video. Game mechanics for this video's purpose shall be defined as properties the game possesses that each player can individually use to work the game in their favor. Like for example, the sharpshooter's ability to cause a red explosion on impact when hitting projectiles with the right click. To some of you, this definition may be seen as flawed since a game mechanic can quite literally be any sort of input or output in the game, but we are not using the textbook definition for this video's sake. To utilize game mechanics is to know what weapons you're using, know what enemies you're fighting, and overall awareness of your gameplay. Awareness is incredibly important in Ultrakill, because especially on higher difficulties, one measly projectile can be the cause of your death, making you lose your P rank. But you're not always going to remember each and every room and each and every enemy and how to exactly defeat them with the correct tech, which is why it's very important to have reliable ways to kill things using their game mechanics. Let's look at the jumpstart and saw's combo for example. You attach the jumpstart minigun to the enemy you wish to kill, and the main 2 downsides of the jumpstart, being range and time to kill, are mostly eradicated due to when you shoot the saws after the jumpstart is attached, it speeds up the time to kill tremendously. This game mechanic allows for you to very easily kill a large sum or even just one major enemy, including hideous masses, all light enemies, Cerberus, and more. A large variety of game mechanics may also be called tech by a lot of people, but a tech is not at all a gameplay mechanic, rather the product of game mechanics, like a nuke, which is when you shoot your core eject and then proceed to shoot the core eject with the red rail cannon. You can add as many game mechanics as you want. I'm not going to go in depth to it, however, some of you may know the severe amount of game mechanics that certain sharpshooter and / or coin techs contain. Game mechanics can be learnt, and it's often very accessible to quickly understand and implement into your gameplay. However, with time is how experience comes. Experience is usually only accessible through time. It is the sum of trial and error and having played the game for yourself, or maybe having watched others play it too. As you get more of a feel for the game, experience will automatically be attributed to your gameplay. It's the sole reason why once you play that childhood game you used to play when you're 8 years old, it's inconceivably easier than when you were 8 because of the experience that you now have. Speaking from personal views for a change of pace, I am very familiar with movement or boomer shooters. So Ultrakill when I first played was extremely fun and easy to adapt to. However, someone else that isn't as experienced with boomer shooters may have a harder time trying to adjust, leading to their gameplay not improving as quickly. This is all, of course, relative to the person. And the reason why I added my own personal view to things is to help you understand that it's not always the player's fault. Some things are simply out of one's control, such as the experience they have with previous games. Now you may be wondering, so if you can't train experience, then what's the point? Well, experience actually is something you can train / implement into your gameplay. Let's look at it like this. Your effective experience is not how many hours you have in the game, and rather your overall knowledge and understanding of everything to do with playing Ultrakill. An example would be Little Timmy versus Big Timmy. Little Timmy has 150 hours on Ultrakill, but can't P-rank any levels on Brutal. Big Timmy has 80 hours on Ultrakill, but can P-rank all levels on Brutal, and has a cyber grind record of 30. Big Timmy here has more effective experience due to him likely having more knowledge about Ultrakill than compared to Little Timmy. So, how do we get more effective experience? Simply by learning techs and applying more game mechanics, or, in other words, synthesis. Synthesis is the act of combining two elements to create an entirely new unified whole. A lot of you may know that from chemistry, and it's the exact same premise. Previously, we mentioned techs, which include the synthesis of two game mechanics. This is the exact same, but on a much broader scale. I also aforesaid that you can try and experience, but what does that mean? Let's use the rocket plus grappling hook as an example. If you grapple a light enemy towards you, then immediately shoot a rocket, it will cause a red explosion. Now, as some of you may have already assumed, the game mechanics present here are the grappling hook and shooting of the rocket. The tech that is produced is the red explosion. This isn't exactly referred to as a tech by the community, but by my definition, it is seen as one. So now we've covered the game mechanics part. Part 1 is done, and we can move on to part 2. Part 2 would now consist of simply using this tech in game. That's all there is to it. Allow me to further explain and connect the dots. When you learn quite literally anything, the more time you have spent with it learnt, usually the better you'll be at it. This is because of how the human brain works. While you sleep, throughout the day, and the shower, it will connect these dots in your head, and one day you'll wake up and it might even be second nature to you. The hardest part about experience is simply trying to even do it. Nothing more, nothing less. Moving on from part 2, we reach our synthesis. These two broad topics of game mechanics and experience will shape you into a better player, day by day. If you have part 1 and part 2 down, part 3 will come as a breeze. Only as long as you keep trying, you'll reach your ends meet. Okay, you can click off now. This part is mainly for me to voice some opinions I had about this video in general. The entire time, I was trying to make it very logical, information-packed, and easy to understand. That was my main vision with this video, and I hope that's what the viewer perceived it as. This is very different from the type of videos I usually make, and I kind of want to keep making these. Maybe not always in like a teaching sort of way, but just videos with a clear topic at hand. To the viewer, if you're still here, I really appreciate you sticking around for this last part. Comment anything you would like to add, be it negative or positive. I'm not one to take poorly to criticism. And with all that said, I'll be trying... I will try and be more consistent with videos, as I do think it's a real passion that I have. And I guess that's it. So I'll see all of you very soon, hopefully.